Is Dragon Prince Season 2 better than Season 1? Let's find out. Welcome to the objective review of Dragon Prince Season 2, or better known as Book 2 Sky. And in objective review, I like to break a TV show down into 6 categories and assign weight to them, depending on the genre, to have the most honest, unbiased, objective review as possible. So let's start with the first category of story.
War is coming like the world's never seen, unless we get the wee dragon home to his mom.
So we pick up from Season 1, where Rayla, Ezran, and Callum has to get the Dragon Prince to his mother so they can possibly stop this war between the mystical, magical creatures and the humans. And their main antagonist this time is actually their friends, which I think creates a great dynamic. Their friends are Claudia and Soren, and they really are their friends. Like, Claudia has a lot of great moments with specifically Callum and just how to deal with their objective of trying to capture them and get them back home. And back in their kingdom, Varen, their father, is still trying to really take that power. He's still trying to play that Game of Thrones. But the thing I really loved about him is that he still isn't purely evil. Like, sure, he wants to kill Callum and kill Ezran, but he's still doing it for somewhat noble causes. He still feels like this war between the humans and the magical creatures are going to come, and he has to prepare the humans for battle with them. And if there's any drawbacks to this season, is that there really isn't that much plot or story movement. I feel like the story is sort of in the same place it was at to begin the season. Like, they still have to get the Dragon Prince to the mother, and so there hasn't been much movement there. But in spite of that, there is so much great character growth here. And that's what's really important, especially in these long story formatted fantasy journeys. We got some great character growth for Callum, Ezran, Claudia, even her brother Soren, and Rayla doesn't grow that much, but she grows in her relationships with all of these people. And one of the hallmarks of these stories, like The Dragon Prince and like Avatar: The Last Airbender, is that it's just not the story that's important, but it's really the meaning behind the story. And I think the main meaning behind this season is sacrifice. And not necessarily self-sacrifice, but sacrifice at the expense of others to push your own self forward. And what does that mean? What does that say about you? And what does that say about what you think about that thing you're sacrificing? I mean, and that is really, and that is really summed up in dark magic, where dark magic is you take the life energy of something special, a magical creature, and you use it for your own benefit. But is it right to do that? One thing that I love about these characters is that they don't fall into stupid cliches. Like, there's a certain secret that one character is holding from the other characters, and then when they find out that secret, they're not like all resentful about it and hateful towards that person and turns on them. They tend to understand why that person did that. In any other typical show, that might have been different. So for story, I give it 8.5 out of 10. That's to emotion.
Real trust is about accepting even the dark parts we will never know.
There are many great emotional scenes in this season, far more than Season 1. I feel like Season 1 wasn't all that emotional, but this season just doubled the emotion. I mean, there was at least 4 scenes where I got teary-eyed. A lot of it had to do with Callum and Ezran and dealing with the king and his whereabouts, and also Claudia and how she, even though she has to capture these 2 princes, she's still their friend and she still cares about them. And even her brother Soren has some great moments. There's also this new character, a young queen, and she's special. I really love that character. So like I said, this season hit me in the feels at least 4 times. Had to give it a 9.5 out of 10. Just job well done. Next is on to action.
An invasion is imminent. We must be prepared to fight.
The action has improved from last season also. They have some backstory that involves Amaya and some other people that I don't want to spoil technically, but the action scenes are done really well. They have to go fight a huge titan, and it is dramatic. And we do have a great sense of dragons now. Like, dragons are more heavily involved this season than they were last season, and it is very Game of Thrones-esque. Like, that carriage scene in Game of Thrones, it's, you know, there's scenes in this season that's very reminiscent of that. But I think what Dragon Prince does very well is that he adds some emotional layer to these action scenes. So for action, give an 8.5 out of 10. That's on to comedy.
Hello again, fella humans, human fellas.
Oh, you're gonna love this. I'm a huge fan of Human Rayla.
I really love the comedy in this season. I think I laughed out loud in probably every single episode. And they do a great job of balancing that heart with the emotion and with the comedy. Specifically, I love Rayla's comedy. Just, her trying to sound like a human. Human Rayla is hilarious. And they also have some great, I wouldn't say adult humor because it's not raunchy or anything, but it's grown-up humor, like involving Lady Justice visiting someone in their dreams. Just love that scene. I also love that character who delivered those lines. So for comedy, it gets an 8.5 out of 10. Next on to acting.
This mission, it's the most important thing we'll ever do.
The voice acting in the show is pretty good. It's just as good as last season. I think the major call-outs are the voice actress for Rayla. I mean, her accent just goes really well with Rayla. And it was distracting to me in the first season because no one else has that accent, but at this point, I can't imagine anyone else delivering these lines like her. Also, she delivers a lot of emotion in those lines as well. The other person I think does a great job is King Harrow. We do get some more of him, and he just always seems like a king who has so much weighing on him, and you believe it in his voice acting. And I don't want to spoil this, but a certain voice actor from Avatar Season 1 comes back, and it is perfect and magnificent. So for acting, I give it an 8 out of 10. Next on to directing.
Humanity could face extinction if we don't do something.
Someone has to take a stand when no one else will.
And in directing, there was one thing from Season 1 that was a heavy criticism for a lot of people for Dragon Prince, and that was sort of the frame rate and just how characters moved in sort of a glitchy manner. And the creators knew this, and they went out of the way to fix this issue. I didn't have a big issue with it. I did mention it in my Season 1 review. But here, I don't think there's really any of that. Everything is a lot more crisp and moves a lot better, and it really shows. I think it really also helps out with the action scenes and just the movement of the characters. They feel more real when they're not moving kind of in that frame rate. And I think what's done really well this season, which maybe I just didn't notice last season, was the music. The music was magnificent. It changed at certain points that needed to change. It really fit the scenes that they went to. They've just done a great job. Also, I think the pacing was done really well. They had a lot of great cliffhangers and just in the right perfect moments that I think in that next episode were really paid off. The character designs were amazing again. Like the character designs in the show, it's almost a character of itself. Like looking at the sun, fire elves, looking at the moon shadow elves, this new character, sort of this dark, majestic elf. The character design is just so good. So for directing, it gets a 9 out of 10. So, is it better than Dragon Prince Season 1? Well, Season 1 got a score for me of 8.2 out of 10. I'm happy to say that this season got an 8.7 out of 10. It really improved on just about every aspect there is, and I'm looking forward to more of the show. So, let me know your thoughts. And if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe. Sincerely, thank you for watching. I'm out.